Welcome back to our lesson of PHP. In this lesson, we are going to learn about URL parameter. And what is URL parameter? When you are sticking it up or sticking your PHP file or document up on a URL, that is called URL parameter and how you will be able to place it. So we are going to show you all of the steps about it. In our previous lesson, we learned about how we can make a Mad Libs game, and the structure is over here. Yet it is still on .php programming, okay? But when you are putting that on URL and also World Wide Web, that is what the URL parameter starts, okay? Because you can obviously start off, and PHP is obviously used in our web browser and obviously like our web parameter, okay? So without any further ado, let's just jump into the lesson where I'm going to give you the basics about how you can use your PHP document in your URL. So the first thing I'm going to do is obviously remove those because I'm not going to be needing them. So I'm going to do is remove them. Now I'm going to cut them off, and I'm just going to keep the input type because that is our action. Okay, and we are mostly going to need those for like our whole course. So first off, we're going to keep our form method to be action and index PHP and method to be get. You can also use different ones, but I prefer using the get because that is like one of the mostly used one. And now I'm going to do is type in our name. And here on our name, I'm going to do is open up our column. And here I'm going to put in our input type. Input type. Then we have our input type, and I'm going to type in equal. And here is going to be our text. So type in text. And as our text has opened up, I'm going to put in our name of the text. So our name is going to be name, okay? So I'm going to open it up again, double quotation. We're going to name it as name and close it off. And at the end, we're going to put in our BR tag because obviously we don't want all of the content to appear in one line. And yet you can see that I'm not still putting them in my PHP tag or my PHP command because I want them to like cooperate with HTML and also PHP at the same time. So obviously, even though if it's like a PHP folder, I want them to be visible on my web browser as HTML. So both of them have connection. So I'm going to do is close off my double quotation over here and then put in my BR, which is going to be causing a line break in between them. And after I'm done, I'm going to be putting my input type, and the input type is going to be the same, which is going to be form and also submit. And as I have my submit, I'm going to close it off with my form. So I have all of my sources done. And if I want to put in my source and content over there, I'm going to put in those contents later on. Then I'm going to be putting in BR so that I am going to like, I want there to be a line break in between them. I'm going to put in BR as there is a break. Then I want my data or my result to echo. Okay, so I'm going to cut all of these off. And here I'm going to put in my question and then PHP. Now I want all of the results to appear in PHP and also echo. So I'm going to type in echo over here. And then I'm going to use our variable, which is going to be get. And as I have my get, I'm going to open up my second bracket. And as I opened up my second bracket, I'm going to put in my name, double quotation, name. I'm going to do is close it off, put like semicolon. So as this is done, I'm going to do is run it up, run without debugging. Yes, retry as admin. And then what I'm going to do is refresh my browser, and you can see this appears up. So what happened is that you have to close in your PHP, question PHP, and then you're going to see through them for a while, and then run it back again without debugging. Press on yes, admin, and then I'm going to refresh it. You will see it will appear up like this. I'm going to put in my name. Let's say I'm going to put in Tom, submit it. I can see Tom has appeared up. One thing you have to learn about this URL parameter is that when you type in your name, that this name has appeared up on my screen. And also it has appeared on my URL. You can see the name is Tom. One thing you can do is like over here, let's type in Dave and hit on enter. You can see that the name over here has changed into Dave. I didn't even have to put in my name over here and submit it, yet it used the URL parameter and changed the content of our page directly through the URL. not even through our PHP. Let's say I'm going to do is type in Steve, hit on submit, and you can see it has appeared over here. But you can also bypass it through here. You can like change the value over here. Let's say I'm going to do is type in John, hit on enter, and you can still see that it is changing our content over here. So that is what you have to keep in mind, that you can change your source, you can change your variable by using your URL parameter without even using our PHP sometimes. And that's not like always, because I'm just showing you the basics of how it works. If you have like a perfect structure of how like not to compromise a parameter and not to compromise specific web page, then obviously it's not going to work. So it's going to work like sometimes, but not most of the times. And obviously it's going to have like security and all of those when it's on like an authorized web page. So when you are using your own web browser and your own web page, you can like change through them step by step. But obviously it's not going to contain all of the info that another user is going to put. But you will find out the value will change in your web browser. Now I'm going to put in ampersand over here, and let's see if it works. Ampersand, and I'm going to put in age equal 50. Let's see if it works. I can see that it is not working. Okay, because this is the age value, and I have put in my text to be text, which is the input type, which is not going to work. And if it's not working, then what I'm going to do is type in and I'm going to do is type in 60. I'm going to do is refresh it or hit on enter, and you can still see it is not working because this is not the parameter the URL can like validate. So here, instead of name, you can like type in age. So when you like type in age, then you will be able to like put in the age over here. Then first I'm going to do is close it off and then put in my age first. So just as I changed the parameter to age from name, now you can see that 60 has appeared over here. So what you have to do is change the parameter. So I'm going to do is do the same thing. Let's say I'm going to type in name, refresh it. Now you can see it is not working. Then what you have to do is run it up without debugging. Yes. Retry admin, press on yes and refresh it. And you can see John has appeared up because this is only validating the name now. And next thing what you can do is obviously use another get over here and put in the age too. Let's say I'm going to type in plus. I'm going to put in the get code again, which is going to be using the variable. And I'm going to put in this get. Now as I've put in get, I'm going to do is second bracket. Here I'm going to put in double quotation. I'm going to put in age too. So as I've put in age over here, and I'm going to do is run it as like debugging. Yes, retries admin. Yes, and let's see how it works. You can see this as a fatal error because now the PHP or your web URL is not taking it, okay, or validating the content over here. So you have to keep that in mind, that you want like a lot of content to be available over here, but obviously it's not going to take all of those content over here. You can still see the name. There is just name over here, so it's not going to appear up. And yet you can see in my PHP on line 15, you can see in line 15 I added that up, and obviously it's not a mathematical term which can appear over here by using text and also the number. So what you have to do is use one of the variable which you can use in your web browser and your URL parameter so that it is visible on your web browser. So I'm going to do is run it again, and obviously it's going to start working. So I'm going to retry as admin, press on yes as we already have our name, refresh. Now you can see as I have no name over here, so I'm going to type in Jack, hit on enter, and you can see Jack has appeared up. So now you know most of the URL parameters, how those actually work in a web browser by using PHP. So thank you for watching this video and also for staying with us until the end. Let's move on to our next lesson.